This program brought to you by Brewski's Bar and Grill, located in Utica, Minnesota. Your one-stop shop for delicious burgers, fries, pizzas, and more.
Let's go.
Welcome to Sports Back Talk with Boley and Ringer, and well, here we are, Mike. It's a Tuesday. We're a little late, so if people have been waiting, we apologize.
Yeah, believe it or not, we are building a crowd. We are building an audience. I've talked to quite a few people over the last 2 weeks. I don't know if they're just sick of the weather and they have nothing better to do, but hearing lots of positive comments and reminding us to talk about Tiger Woods today and reminding us to talk about NHL hockey. So, yeah, we're getting lots of people telling us what to do.
When I ask people why they watch the show, I say, why do you watch? Why?
They have nothing
Why are you
else.
watching this?
They have nowhere else to go.
And you know what the thing is? We want to hear what you're going to say next, because you don't know where it's going to go.
Hell, right now I couldn't tell you where this is going.
Couldn't tell you. Well, I do have.
Just because we have it doesn't mean we're going there.
That's very true. Where would you? Should we start with the Masters?
You're the leader.
Let's start with the Masters. On a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being totally shocked, 1 you expected it to happen. Where are you on Tiger winning?
I'm probably a 5. I had him in the back of my mind on pools. Is why am I not taking him more than why am I taking him?
Okay.
I did not take him in a pool.
I'm happy to say that I did. Thank you.
I was just so amazed that the old Tiger was there, and he didn't succumb. He didn't panic. He only shot 70, right? Ain't like he went out and blew everybody away. Just everybody around him.
Well, and he didn't need to do anything special on 18, so that might be the part of the reason why he shot 70.
He bogeyed.
Could have been a 69. When he bogeyed on like 5, 4 or 5, or birdied, and then he bogeyed.
He bogeyed 5. He laid up with a 3-wood, which probably was a mistake, but he bogeyed the hole every single day.
And I thought, okay, is this a sign that here we go again? He's not in first place. He's not back to that old Tiger form. And when Molinari doubled 12, and I was listening to it on the radio at that time, when he doubled 12, that opened the door big time for him to come in. And a lot of other people, I was surprised, kind of snuck in, because early on in the round, it looked like it was going to be a 3-horse race between Finau, Tiger, and Molinari. And then some guys started to sneak in towards the end. They made their runs on 13, 14, 15, 16, where most players do make a run on Sunday. And it was very exciting. It was fun to watch. It was fun to listen to, because I listened to the last 9 holes on the radio, which isn't as fun, but I was into it.
Yeah, I mean, I look at both Dustin Johnson, and of course they didn't know it at the time. They thought maybe they had a chance if they could get one more birdie, Dustin Johnson and Koepka, but the way Woods played 18 would have been different than if he was knowing he needed a par. But Koepka and Dustin Johnson both had birdie opportunities on 18. Finau kind of didn't look like he had his game all day. He just kind of hung around as best he could.
Do you felt like it was that first time pressure playing with Tiger on a Sunday type of thing? I mean, because it looked like to me like he never Thursday, Friday, Saturday he looked wow. It was like, and he couldn't flip the switch.
Well, and they made the comment a few times. There's a lot of these players now, like the Finau, Spieth, Justin Thomas. They grew up idolizing him for what he did. Well, now they got to see what he does, and how Tiger can make Molinari all of a sudden start hitting it in the trees, or hitting it in the water on 12. I mean, his face was getting white when he walked up to number 12 tee. He didn't want to hit that shot, and if you're not committed to that shot, it's a simple hole, but you go at the pin and you're not committed. There's little winds that blow up there. If there ever is golf gods, they are on number 12 at Augusta. But you could see it in Molinari's face. And again, he panicked a little bit on 15 by hitting it in the woods. And he was spraying it all over, which wasn't his game.
Yeah. For the way
he wins by
the way he played the first three and a half rounds. It was totally opposite of what we thought we would see.
Yeah, and Molinari's the type of player that could get under Tiger's skin because of how he plays. But some great analysis overall, and a lot of comments made about, well, Tiger's never been great off the tee box or totally straight. So if he has his iron game and his putter, he's going to win. If he would have had his putter, again, he putted okay.
Yeah,
he putted good enough to win. But he missed a lot of 5-6 footers that he would have blown away the field. He made those. But great tournament as always. It's a great tournament every year, Ringer.
It's not golf, it's the Masters. That's what I tell the kids.
Yeah, you're right.
You don't tell me we're watching golf or why are you interested in golf. This is the Masters. It's a different animal.
It starts on the second night. It proves that to be every year. And it's just a fun time and great fun.
Reaction to all the players waiting for him before he went in and signed his card. I have never seen 10 players waiting to hug a guy, to shake his hand, to say attaboy, great job, whatever. I've never seen that before. You know, Bubba wins a couple of years ago, one guy out there maybe shake his hand before he walks in. Everybody else is doing their thing. This was like, wow.
Interesting.
It was like, thank you. Glad you're back. This was fun. Let's keep doing it. It was interesting to me. I didn't expect that.
And you saw Phil there. He didn't have his green jacket on yet, but I noticed Bubba was waiting for him. He did have his green jacket. I did not see Patrick Reed. Justin Thomas, of course, was there. Kept basically the whole Ryder Cup team, and that's why you would have saw that. And Ian Poulter. Was a nice surprise at the 18, and I like Ian Poulter. He gets a little misconstrued, but boy, he could be in my foursome any day.
Him and John Rahm fit into the same. I said I don't like John Rahm last week. Remember I said that, and you were kind of surprised. They fit into the same thing. They're from Europe. That's nothing against them. If I'm going into a golf, like you said, you're going into a foursome, I want them on my team. I understand that. But when it comes to the Ryder Cup, they're on the wrong side of the ledger.
They live for Ryder Cups, and they're irritating because they how do they put it? They get more excited when they win. Where the Americans just la-di-da. You know, we won. I'll take a sip of champagne. Actually, pour the champagne in a glass for me. You know, they don't want to shake it and get it. You know, they play. They've been groomed to win tournaments. So when they win, big deal. That's what I'm supposed to do.
Exactly. Ryder Cup. I got an email from the PGA today asking me to put my name into the pool to have your name drawn out to buy tickets to the Ryder Cup in 2020 at Whistler Straits. Well, we'll have to wait and see. I filled it out. I sent
How many tickets you asked for?
I didn't ask for any because you got to get your name in the pool first, and then you can buy your ticket.
Bully going?
You want to go with me?
Yeah. Sports Back Talk live from Whistling Straits.
Crapper, would that be fun?
Yeah. I mean, you could bring family.
The only problem is if there's a football game that night, I'm going to have to miss a football game.
Yeah, it's usually September, October, so there might be an issue, but
anyway,
we'll cross that when we get there.
Masters was great. I enjoyed the heck out of it. I did say this to my wife, though, on Sunday. The Masters was ruined a little bit this year because of this pool that I was in. Because I was cheering for people that I would not normally cheer for. Because
I agree.
It skewed my... I felt... Yeah.
Well, plus, when your players don't do anything, you know, kind of, if you know, they would have had... Yeah, and when Brucey and Haltmans were the big winners, but they didn't, you know, it's a very friendly pool, and you don't win a lot, but... you sure can put away 50 in a hurry.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's move on. Let's talk about UNB hockey, if I may.
Hey, Tommy, you want to come up and talk UNB hockey for me? Okay. I apologize.
Mike doesn't want to talk about UNB beating his Providence Friars at all.
I don't want to talk about that. Upset.
I'm
Reffing.
Wait a minute now. I'm going to say this. I did not expect Providence to come out and give UND that consistently, that much.
They were the better team first two periods.
I agree with you. The Dogs were back on their heels. They hung in there. The Bulldogs did. Providence was all over them. And the scarier part about maybe saying that, if you listen to your good buddy Melrose and Bucci, and they're talking, UNB dominated that game. They were
really.
I was kind of like I don't know.
I like Bucci. He's pretty cool, but Melrose,
they were definitely behind UNB. They were absolutely behind both ESPN. Everybody was behind UMD.
Yeah.
That's what you do for the defending champion, I think. And but yeah, I get kudos to the Friars. They gave them a better game than Massachusetts did on Saturday.
Well, Providence is a world-class college program, and ever since about 1980, it's been the case.
It's been the case, absolutely. So, did you watch any of the 3 games from the weekend?
I couldn't on the one because I got held up in a meeting. I was basically I wasn't able to watch any of it until possibly 7:15. So that's
Missed
why.
the UMD game.
And then I did watch the 3rd period in the overtime of the Denver game, and watching this Cale McCare, the Hobey Baker winner, he looked good. But we'll get to this in a bit. But he looked amazing last night.
I was going to say, how about last night from what I heard? I didn't get to watch, but
boy, we'll get to that in a little bit. But the best team did win. The big question I have for you, and I had for Tommy Doherty, who's a big, him and his brother Bill are huge UMD fans, is I think Sandelin's gone.
Where's he going to go?
Well, that's probably the bigger question. Alain Vigneault was hired by the Flyers, which I don't know why they keep recycling these coaches. Don't be surprised. Buffalo, Florida's already got their coach in Quenneville. Buffalo's looking at another recycled coach in McCullen, and the LA Kings are looking. I think Sandelin might be a good fit out in LA. Okay.
I don't think
I don't think there's a great job for him. Okay. Detroit would have been, but they kept their coach. I thought that might have been a really good fit because they got a young group of some stars.
Okay.
Buffalo looks like a quagmire of problems, kind of like the Edmonton of the East. Like we got all these high draft picks and can never get out of get in the playoffs. So, I know Buffalo or the Kings could be a good fit, or he might go one more year of college and wait for that
the better
job up in Minnesota.
So you're thinking that he's thinking the next level?
The reason I say that is when they asked him that, he didn't say absolutely not. Okay, and usually they'll say absolutely not, especially when they got 2 games to play. He said, "I'll cross that when I get there, but I'm here to win a national championship." So
usually if they say nothing's going on, there is something going on.
Yeah. To me, that means somebody has talked to him.
What is he? I think he's getting like $275 at UMD.
Yeah, I think multiply that by 15, 3 million per, 3.5.
Does he have the? And I ask this in all seriousness. Does he have the right temperament to coach professional players?
I think so. I think he does. Yeah.
Is that? And okay, I'll ask. Why do you say that? I think I might have a reason why, but why do you think that?
I just think he coaches to the style of his players. He always has. He knows which players he has to, coddle, and he knows which players he has to get on. Okay. And a similar thing will happen to him when he gets to the NHL. But I think he can get mad when he has to, and I think he can be really nice when he wants to.
Does it have something to do with the caliber of players that he's getting at UMD right now? I mean, he's getting kids that are being drafted by the NHL. I mean, there's 8 kids off of the team from 2 years ago that went and lost in the national championship game. 8 of those kids are playing in the.
And they're good players. Tufte, he was a top 5 Minnesota kid. They're not getting the 3 blue chips. Minnesota keeps getting them, but then those blue chips are going right into the Gophers as 18-year-old freshmen. Where usually Sandlin throws his boys in for at least 1 year of juniors, and he gets 19-year-old freshmen. So he gets their best years instead of your freshman year, then your next best 2 or 3, depending on how long you go.
Sure.
He has the best of both worlds. He's getting top 5 talent, but he's getting them and then letting them go play juniors first, which the Gophers can't. And that's why the Gophers will continue to struggle.
I did like that ESPN, and they probably, like I said, you got to have things to talk about. But they did say UMD, 17 kids from Minnesota playing on that team.
Might have more Minnesotans than the Gophers.
Yeah. And like I said, they played Well, they talked about their defense being offensive defensemen in certain cases, and I just think they got a system that they understand. Everybody's on the same page, and it just seems.
And the typical flops from the two Division II schools in Mankato and St. Cloud, they're still Division II to me. They are. They're Division II. All right, and they're proving the case, and both of them. It wasn't a shock to me that both of them lost. It just, you got to step up to be with the big boys. You got to win, Ringer.
You got to win.
And, not saying that this will happen, but the Brett Larson kid who's at St. Cloud, he's a possible replacement for Sandlin at UMD if Sandlin leaves. But,
sure.
We shall see until Hastings can win any games. I don't know why he's getting all this credit. So that's my take.
There you go.
I'll still take the good players.
So you want to talk about the NBA playoffs at all? Come on, no.
I did see Golden State lost. Who?
Golden State was up by 31 points and lost.
Biggest comeback in NBA playoff history.
So,
now, did you take that as a really amazing story?
When I saw it this morning, and then I saw that the Clippers outscored them 72-32 over a stretch from the middle of the third quarter or some part of the third quarter, to outscore Golden State by 40 points in a quarter and a half. I'm not asking how well did the Clippers play. I'm asking, what did Golden State do?
Well, you live by the three, you die by the three. If you're not hitting your threes, guess what? They're getting fast break points and easy buckets, and that's what you get. And that's why the NBA is unwatchable. I will not watch it. If you're going to ask me a question about any of the games, I won't be able to answer them because I didn't watch it.
That's fair enough. I'll be honest with you. I'm a basketball fan. And I didn't watch hardly any of the over the weekend.
It's bad sport. It's not watchable.
The first round's not worth watching because there's 8 or 10 teams that have no chance, and there's no sense even really watching it.
See, I grew up in the fear of the big man.
Yeah.
Lou Alcindor and Elvin Hayes and Wes Unseld and Bobby Love and then we got into Akeem Olajuwon and James Worthy and all these teams had big centers, Ralph Sampson. So, but now it's like a shooting gallery at the state fair.
Most of those big centers want to go out and play on the perimeter.
Like Towns.
Think about Durant. He's 6'11".
Yeah.
Plays basically a guard. Maybe a small forward.
To me, it's ruined basketball, though. Get rid of the three-point line, and you'll get back to real basketball.
It's an interesting thought to get rid of the three-point line. I wonder how it would change the game back, possibly to that center-orientated business.
Well, that's where it should be. High-low. Go in to shoot from out, and now they don't even do that. I mean, poor guys who are over 6'10", if you can't shoot the basket, you're basically there to play defense.
I agree. All right, let's talk NHL playoffs because I know Mike wants to talk about it.
Yeah, we should do that.
So I asked you this via phone yesterday. I'll ask you again here while we're taping it. What the heck did you know about Columbus versus Tampa Bay to know that Columbus is up 3-0 with a chance to shut out the President's Cup, the team that, heck, they clinched the President's Cup, early March? Mid-March? I mean, it was way, way early. So what's
Well, the scary part of it is I thought Bobrovsky would have to carry this team for them to win this series. And frankly, he hasn't.
No.
But I do get weary of teams that have the muscle and the grit of a Nick Foligno, the good Foligno, not the one we got from Marcus. I mean, Marcus is, jeez, he's got half the heart Nick has. Nick's goofy. That's a guy you want on your team, and he'll go through a wall to get that puck. And then you got this Anderson kid, and their defense is solid. Werenski and Seth Jones, and you look at that team and you say it's a dangerous team. I wouldn't want to play him. You got Duchesne playing the best of his life. Duchesne made the comment, which finally solidified me as he finally gets it, is he said, it doesn't come down to if I score a goal every night. It's just how we play as a team, and it doesn't matter who gets the goals. God, if every player on every team had that mentality, your teams would be so much better instead of worrying about who's getting the goals and who's getting the assists and who leads the team in stats. It doesn't matter. Okay, you have to all play hard defensively, and you got to hit, and you got to muck it up, and I guess it surprised me more because the last game I watched, Columbus not only beat them, they were the better team.
Yeah.
So you figure that one out. Now they play again tonight. It's a must-win, obviously, and same thing for our Pittsburgh Penguins. I could sit up here and look like I know what the heck I'm doing and talking about. I did see this possibly happening, but I picked Pittsburgh to knock out the Isles in 5. So, and they're down 3-0 too. So, yeah.
So which one's the bigger surprise to you?
The game's 3-0. Which one? Which of those? Columbus.
Columbus is the bigger surprise.
Yeah. I mean, I thought this would be a 7 game, and they would have to sneak out that last game in Tampa Bay, and they still might have to. I mean, all it takes is to win tonight. Now you got the momentum. You go back home to win Game 5, and then you sneak another one in Columbus.
Okay, so what,
far from over.
So what do you give the odds of Tampa Bay being able to come back and win 4 in a row?
They better. Let's put it this way.
One in.
I say if they win tonight, Ringer.
If they win tonight,
they will win that series. Oh. Okay.
Wow.
So that will defeat the purpose of my early prediction, but I just think Tampa Bay's. I see they're sitting JT Miller. He must have did something or said something in the locker room because he's definitely a top 6 or 9 forward. Must have did or said something because he's not in the lineup tonight. And Kucherov is playing. He sat out 1 game for the illegal hit on whomever. It didn't matter. But, yeah, it should be a good game. And I'm looking forward to both the Isles game and Columbus tonight.
Surprised that Toronto's had 2-1 on Boston?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah?
I am. And I talked to a guy last night, kind of off and on, and he was commenting about how great Coyle's been and their best player. And of course, Boley's not, I mean, I'll let that go for a little bit, but when I'm hearing the same comments on TV, basically it tells me the guy's listening to TV and he's making comments, so it's not even his own stuff, he's plagiarizing it. So I kind of went after him a little bit, and he's a good follow. He's a good follow. I just asked him, why do you think Coyle's, I don't see it. I don't see a different Coyle.
Right.
Does he have 2 goals? Yeah. And he's hitting a little bit, but when you're playing with David Backus probably told him, you don't hit, I'm going to hit you. Okay? Because Coyle's a monster. He's 6'3", and still plays puppy dog soft hockey. And Coyle's still the same player. I'll take Donato over Coyle every day of the week and twice on Sundays. But we'll see. I'll give him credit. I just won't like his game regardless of where he ends up. And there's no bitterness that he left Minnesota. Yeah, unless he finally gets it and says, but you can't teach that. You can. We've had this. You can't teach me. Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
you can't teach being a prick. I hate to say that.
Look at Nick Foligno's eyes every game, and then compare him to Charlie Coyle's. I mean, it's so easy to tell. But good stuff, and good luck to Charlie. But I'm surprised Toronto's ahead in that series. Yes.
So we've talked about the East. Let's talk about the West. Surprised anything there?
Blues a little bit, although the Jets kind of took care of business last night. Is it last night?
Yeah, last night. All 3 teams have won on the road.
I like the Jets still in that series. Buff got a little more engaged. I noticed that Schenn was going after little guys, and then Buff comes around and Schenn runs away like a Nazem Kadri type. I mean, that was so obvious, Luke Schenn, whatever you're made of or who you are, don't make it so obvious that you'll go after. An example would be who's Schenn play for?
Who's he play for?
Yeah. He's in the West, St. Louis.
Yeah, St. Louis.
You'll go after Ehlers or you'll go after Little, but then you see Buff come in and you run away. It was so obvious. And Buff actually had Schenn and another guy and had them both. And basically said, you guys aren't going anywhere. And they weren't. And Schenn didn't want anything to do with it, right? And earlier in a shift, Schenn was throwing haymakers from over the top of a ref, okay? And, of course, Buff came in and said, okay, that's enough of that.
Anything else? You wanted to talk about Makar with Colorado last night?
Wow. I mean, I'm going to say something. It might be off the... Might not make sense, but if he was on the Wild, he would be our best defenseman. He's this good. And you look at Colorado now has the 4th overall pick coming up. They're a young team right now in the playoffs. McKinnon's turned into a superstar this year and then into the playoffs. I mean, he's skating at a speed nobody else other than McDavid can keep up. And, boy, I'm not a huge Avalanche fan, but I like him better than Tkachuk. So that's like, I want the Avalanche. You see Kachuk was doing his little antics again last night, and hitting guys late and blind, and he actually deliberately tries to hurt guys. And I can't believe his dad, Keith, who played a rugged game,
right?
But Keith would never try to hurt someone on purpose. He would stand up to you and say, let's go. This Kachuk won't. Okay, always dirt little cheap shots, blind shots, and then all he hurt Dumba is he just grabbed him and shook him. And basically doing this separated his oblique, and there's Dumba for the year. He never did throw one punch with Dumba.
Yeah.
He couldn't fight Dumba. And yeah, to me, Kachuk is, if they lose the next one, Kachuk could go bonkers and then get a suspension.
Okay, so Winnipeg's down 2-1, and then they come back?
Yeah, I think so. I like Winnipeg. They better win the next one.
Preds
are going to end that in 5. I think they're going to win the next one in Dallas.
Vegas is up 2-1 on your Sharks?
I hate Vegas.
you hate Vegas or you hate the Knights?
We'll talk about a stacked deck. Okay, it's like the NHL took a deck of cards and said, here, you get the 4 aces. Now we're going to deal everybody else's hand. I mean, did their general manager take advantage of the system? Yeah. But I guarantee you this won't happen for Seattle.
No,
they learned their lesson. We are not giving up anybody or anything. You take who you want.
Yeah.
Okay, we're protecting. Here's our players. You take who you want. We don't care because they got it. I mean, there's like 6-7 NHL teams that fell for it, and the Wild were one, and they gave up 2 nice players. They were, the thing is, they were both fourth liners.
Yeah.
And Tuck didn't look like he was going to make the next step. Now he's like enjoying life, and he's playing well. And I always worry that about our coach. I like our coach.
Yeah.
But he doesn't seem to develop 3rd and 4th line players to get up to the top 2 lines. Like, we always have to keep Parise and Koivu and Stahl and these guys on the top 2 lines. Well, boy, these other franchises are developing and letting these younger kids play high-end minutes. And to me, it's a travesty that in their second year, Vegas could be looked at as a top 4 team. And to me, that's not right.
Yep.
I mean, they should have had to earn their keep, and they didn't have to because, well, I'm sure the general manager and the coach said, holy macadamia nuts, right? We got a team. We got a better team than half the teams in the NHL. Yeah. Okay, and Gallant can coach. He knows how to hit the buttons. But to me, it's a travesty. That's why I won't cheer for Vegas. I can't cheer for Vegas because, they were given a team with a stacked deck.
Are we done with the NHL?
Yeah, I'm tired.
Let's talk about the Twins. Did you see what Modell...
We think we know what needs to happen there. This ain't rocket science.
What needs to happen?
The bullpen. It's other than May, it's I don't even know the guys. Mahia, I mean, he if you're going to have him, put him as a starter, a 5-inning starter, a number 5 guy. But he proved again last night, and he proved earlier in another series. He just gives up hits and gives up a bunch of them. So I would think he was
out last night.
I would think I was good to see that. I mean,
I don't know what happened. I haven't had a chance.
Something to do with a foul ball that Crone hit. It was one of those check swings, but the ump didn't see it hit the bat, so he called him out. Again, what are you going to do? You can't replay it. And Baldelli, which is good to see, went out there.
Defended.
I think he was more mad about Mahia.
Other stuff.
Mahia's got to be gone. See you later.
Yeah,
Thanks for playing.
You've given him a chance.
Yeah, and he's gotten good chances, and he's basically flopped 3 times.
Yep.
So that's enough for him. And boy, there's 2 good starting pitchers, and Keschel and another guy who could help the Twins right now. But Twins got to do something there because their pitching's not going to be good enough. They'll be able to hit, but
I think we suspected going into the season, we knew that the pitching probably wasn't going to be good enough.
No.
And I think through the first couple of weeks, we were surprised.
The startings are okay.
We were surprised at how good even the bullpen was coming in and doing.
A few guys, but
doing the job.
In today's baseball, you need all 7 or 8 relievers to be good, because one weak link, it'll cost you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we really don't have a closer.
We don't have a closer.
I think something has to be defined there because you can't go the whole year without not having.
So is that something that the Twins try to address?
I don't know. You would think they would, but they don't seem to be in too big a hurry to do that. And if Mahia or whatever, however you pronounce, if he's not gone by today, and I haven't read anything, then shame on Falvey and blame on shame
You
on
mean
Baldwin.
gone to the minors?
Gone,
or
whatever. Put on waivers,
get rid
unconditional
of 'em.
release, and if nobody picks you up, you head to Rochester or AA ball. But he's not a major league pitcher, and he doesn't seem to care. So
Anything else from the MLB?
not really. Watched a walk-off by an LA Dodger last night. He set it and grandstanded and watched it go out of the ballpark, which doesn't surprise me, being in LA.
He might get one in the year.
He'll
today?
get one in the year tonight against Cincinnati, but Houston kind of slowing down the Seattle Mariners. They've been hot, and Houston beat them last night, but Seattle looks like the real deal, so I kind of missed that team. Did you pick them?
I said that they were one of the teams of the 7 teams in the mix.
Oh, that's right. You said.
You didn't like
Boy,
that.
I got 6 teams that'll possibly be a
7 teams,
wild
I said.
card. Yeah.
7.
Yeah. So again, wishy-washy, straightforward.
I know Mike is not going to want to talk about this, but did you watch?
Why are you bringing it up then?
Did you watch any of the home opener for Minnesota UFC from the MLS soccer? Did you watch any of it?
No, Will Hire watches it. That's enough for me. Will likes his soccer. So if Will wants to tell me on Monday morning or Friday afternoon how the soccer team's doing, I'd love to hear it. But hey, Will, I'm not going to really care.
I will say this. They played at home, their first home match of the year. They played 5 matches on the road prior to this, so that they had some hopefully decent weather, which it didn't end up being. So they built this brand new stadium, $250 million. The owner throws basically all the money in. Okay?
I'm not bored. I'm just
They
tired.
built this stadium. It holds 20,000. I mean, this is the soccer stadium mentality. But here's the thing. Here's the thing that interests me. This is the thing I want to talk about.
I like when guys kind of stoop down when they're only 5'3". They don't even have to stoop down.
They took the one end of the stadium, the part that's right along I-94, and they basically built it kind of flat up and down.
Okay.
So it's very steep. They made aluminum bleachers the whole way across. It seats 3,600. This is where the goofballs sit. This is where the crazy sit. They got a whole row of just bass drums. And then they got a whole row of singers and horn blowers and everything else.
Really?
And so they've got this stadium built so that the sound all stays in the stadium. So it just out onto the field. So you hear these 3,600 goofballs sitting down. There's no seats. It's standing room, 3,600 on metal, on aluminum, so that when they pound their feet, it sounds like the whatever's coming. And so
Kind of like at a hockey game in Babbitt.
yeah,
Okay.
is that what it's like?
Sure.
But they built it this way on purpose to try to make more sound, to make more noise.
So fake noise.
It's better than the Vikings the way they pump it in with the audio.
Or else I get a kick out when you see it up in the scoreboard. Or cheer louder, cheer louder. It's like I saw that in Carolina last night. I mean, when you got to tell your fans to cheer louder, to me that's fake.
Yeah. So I just had to bring it up.
Boy,
I think that
I'm going to sleep better tonight, Ringer.
I know.
Because I got a piece of information tonight that wow, I can share.
I just thought it was very curious that somebody spent $250 million, and part of there was to make sure that the that the standing room was aluminum.
Yeah. Well, and I want to thank my buddies Todd Pavlik and John Kaviak and Tony Olinko and Tom Gedney for joining me at a local establishment to watch the Masters. My other friends, none of them showed up.
Okay.
You know.
Am I included in one of those friends?
No, you had a reasonable excuse. My other friends were at the place next door.
Oh, I get it.
Get out of your comfort zone, people. My gosh. I mean, go out there. There's actually a lot of people, new people that you can actually meet. Okay? Instead of seeing the same group of people watching Gunsmoke.
Interesting.
Yeah, I've had it. They're good friends of mine, but I'm a little disappointed.
Let's do a little hoping and praying out there that the local teams get out and that the rain is done.
I did hear today that Monday we could have a game on the radio.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, Little Fort.
Okay.
So keep your ears pierced, and that could be our first game. So
I'm hoping that we'll get some teams on the.
yeah, they need to play pretty soon.
They got to get some games, and otherwise, as a teacher, things are going to get real difficult in May when the kids are gone.
Yeah, they're trying to graduate, and Ringer's saying you're sitting at about a 2.0. You might want to stick around.
Hopefully baseball and softball will have their first games on Thursday up in the air. Hopefully they'll get a chance. Golf is supposed to be able to get a chance to play next week, Monday, Tuesday.
Still tough. Where at?
The girls at Cragen's.
Maybe.
And the boys in Eveleth. Eveleth said that they sent an email saying that they think their course will
My
be ready.
biggest concern there is it thawed out. Because if they're still frozen underneath, you can do damage to the greens. So you got to be careful with that.
And hopefully...
being the agronomist that I am.
Anything else?
We get ready to ask. Paul looks like he wants to ask a stupid question.
Oh boy, here it comes.
But you know what? There's no such thing as stupid questions. There's just stupid people asking questions.
Who do you think won the cribbage game?
The ladies
I would say the ladies won because you girls are smiling and the guys aren't. But then again, you guys know my feeling on cribbage. I won't do that on the air today.
I got a feeling they've got a system down because this is the same.
I saw some hand signals.
That's what I'm saying. It's the same conversation every week. The girls win and the guys lost. And there's something going on there.
Like when they're saying blank come 11. I mean, something's up.
All right, Paul, what do you got for us?
Biggest walleye caught on opener.
What will be the biggest walleye caught on opener? I am going to go.
Recorded or?
Just local.
Oh, there'll be some. People are going to be in the river, so you're going to see some 32, 33-inch walleyes caught in the river.
12 pounds?
Oh, yeah.
12, 13 pounds?
People are. I've already talked to a few people, and I asked where they're going on the opener, and most of the big-time fishermen are heading to the river. So, and these guys are good, so they not only will get there, but they know how to catch them, and they will catch some 30-inch walleyes. So, to me, a lot of them, because the river's loaded with them. I won't be there. What else?
And?
Your first walleye dinner of the season.
Okay.
And second question is first walleye dinner of the season that you're going to have when you actually caught the fish.
When what?
When you've actually caught the fish.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I will say this. The Knights of Columbus just got done having their Lenten fish fries.
Yeah.
So I had walleye 4 out of the last 6 Fridays. Does that count?
After opener.
After opener.
You're aware of the mercury issue with walleye, aren't you?
Oh, wow.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, but the next time that I'm going to probably eat walleye will probably be sometime like in June.
So he's saying June, and I guarantee you he will not have caught him.
And I was just going to say, and when I have caught one, it will probably be like 2027 or something.
I will probably, and they'll be the same time. It'll be my fish. I would say I won't fish the first 2 weekends, so
You're going out
I'm going to go
Memorial Day?
Memorial weekend if I'm around.
Right?
And I will catch, and I will bring you some out if you'd like some.
That sounds like a fair deal.
But it has to be within my 4 limit catch. I can keep 4, my wife can keep 4.
There's no limit on bourbon.
Yeah, there is.
There is 0.
The limit on them 0. Don't tell me this lobster, cheap man's lobster. No, it's a cheap man frog leg to me. It's not worth eating. Although I actually like frog legs. They used to have a place called the Anchor Inn and next to the deck. And it used to be all you could eat crab legs, chicken, and shrimp, all fried. Of course, I was in high school, and we'd go there, and we'd have 30, 40 frog legs in a heartbeat. I liked them.
All right, so what lure or bait are you going to use when we start fishing?
Okay, that's an easy question for me. It's I actually ordered some at the expo on Saturday that I was at.
Nice.
And
Nice way to
Bobby
get that.
Bernath has a business, and I ordered up 4 dozen Lindy rigs, 4 dozen sinkers, the egg sinkers, and I didn't order any swivels. I got a lot of swivels, so I will be using my Lindy rig with a 4 to 5 foot snell. So, we're talking, that big a snell, and probably with minnows. I like fishing Lindy rigs with minnows. Most good fishermen use crawlers with them, but you can use them with minnows as well. So, a Lindy rig, and I'll do
Most good fishermen, but you are one of those?
I'm okay. I'm okay.
I'm not sure where you were going.
You know, I fish out of a pontoon, so which Dave Peterson gives me a hard time. He says, you can't be even looked at as being a fisherman. I said, no,
okay
because
with
if
that?
I'm catching fish out of a pontoon just as well as you're catching them out of
That
that,
means you're a pretty good fisherman, right?
dang good fisherman. What do you think? What do you think of my strategy?
I think it's a fine strategy. You know,
Are you going, do you fish?
it's been a while. I got my fishing license. I didn't get it last year, but I already got mine this year.
Okay, you're ahead of the game.
Yep. My favorite fishing though is just bobber fishing by shore.
Right off the dock here?
Right? It's a little shallow around here, but other spots we're right around sunset or late afternoon.
Yeah, you can go northern air, south and north jack fish. You can sit off your dock and do pretty well. Even grindstone. I know some people fish off grindstone right off their docks, and they all do pretty doggone well until June. So, yeah. You'll see a lot of dock fishing. But good questions, Paul. You get question guy of the week.
Oh, thank you.
What do you got for us? He's got nothing.
He didn't watch the spring Gopher game? How exciting was that?
I saw the 400-pounder put it in the end zone. That's
Last year they'll have a very good record. They don't play hard anybody.
Okay, so you're saying 9 and 3? 9 and 3?
it. Gophers go 9-3.
10 and.
You think
Whoa.
9-3 for the Gopher football team? Wow.
You've been here a long time.
In the East division, Big Ten. Penn State's the only one they play.
They don't play Wisconsin. They always play
Oh,
Wisconsin.
that's right, in the West.
In the West.
Well, we got their number.
Yeah, Wisconsin's done.
We got their
The
number.
Badgers are dead. Yeah.
Where are those two recruits from Marquette going to end up? The rumors, two brothers. They average between them about 26 points a game. They both are transferring out of Marquette. They're
Oh,
basketball.
I had not heard this.
Basketball. So we'll see if they end up at Wisconsin. That'll be
You
interesting.
see the guard make the touchdown, the big 400
Yeah, the 400-pounder. I saw that run. That's the only play I saw.
You know, that interests me about as much as soccer.
Wow.
We'll leave it on that.
Gee.
Don't take us too serious.
Thanks, everybody.
This program brought to you by Brewski's Bar and Grill, located in Utica, Minnesota. Your one-stop shop for delicious burgers, fries, pizzas, and more.